Did you know, up until 50 years ago, so a grandparent or perhaps even a parent can vouch for this, only 30% of homes in the UK had hot water on tap. 75 years ago, formal communication was handwritten letters, airmail or telegram via the post office. Today, using this relatively small device in my pocket, I can video call someone on the other side of the planet within seconds, or down the road if you're a flat earther. Using said device, I can visit any Porsche dealership in the country and buy a car, such as this one, the Porsche Panamera Turbo S e-hybrid. This particular one has a strength of 782 horses. It can warm my bum, it can cool my bum. It can detect fine dust in the ambient air to ensure its occupants aren't affected. It can illuminate the road 600 meters ahead thanks to its HD matrix LED headlights, which can individually control 16,000 micro LEDs onto a surface area of my thumbnail. In fact, Porsche have put together a 10-page document, not about the car, thank you, just about the features and benefits of the headlights. So why am I telling you all this? Well, if civilization as we know it ceased to exist today, there's enough computing power, not just in these headlights, but in the rest of the car to jumpstart a whole new world. I'm talking NASA grade technology, the best engineering know-how. There's controlled explosions and electricity and science all taking place under this bonnet. Yet, the Porsche Panamera sits second from bottom in global sales figures within the Porsche portfolio. So in this video, I'm going to find out just exactly what the hell is wrong with us, because it bloody well ain't the car. Well, firstly, I appreciate there are only a finite number of people in this world who are willing and able to drop best part of £200,000 on a car. Or in the case of this particular press car, £195,451 with all its options, £175,000 for what I like to call the poverty spec, i.e. no options. So what is the preferred source of power for this Turbo S adorned super saloon coupe styled hatch? Because essentially that is what it is. By definition, this is a 5-door hatchback with the silhouette of a saloon slash coupe. It is of course a 4-litre twin turbocharged V8 with an electric motor. And right now, I can only think of one pretty much identical competitor. They both come equipped with hybrid enhanced V8s, both producing power between 750 to 840 horsepower, torque figures between 1000 and 1400, all-wheel drive, 196 to 202 mile an hour top speed times, and an identical 0 to 62 mile an hour sprint time of 2.9 seconds. Can you guess what it is? The Mercedes AMG GT 63 SE Performance. However, if you place the Panamera up against cars with similar stats, with similar output as opposed to its physical attributes, well, you'd be placing the Panamera up against the likes of a McLaren 750S, a Ferrari 12-cylindry, and even the Lamborghini Aventador. And as out of place as it would look, standing next to those cars, it could very easily leave the drivers of those aforementioned cars scratching their heads. Reason being, it's not just a straight line performance that's a thing to behold. It's the carbon ceramic brakes to ensure that the braking power matches its performance. It's the handling thanks to its trick suspension. And I'll go into more detail on this shortly. But before we get into that, if you are still hung up on its price, it is worth remembering that for that price, you are essentially getting two cars in one. In EV mode, it's the Taycan. When I collected it on a full charge, the car was displaying 43 miles worth of EV range, which for a majority of us should cover a big chunk, if not a whole daily commute on EV alone. And that's not all. When you're getting in and out of the car, it identifies as an SUV. But that isn't its only function. Under braking, cornering or heavy accelerating, it can counter pitch and roll to negate body movement. Now just think about the millions of calculations it needs to do to make that work seamlessly. And all that's going on while you're in your heated or ventilated seats in an air-conditioned cabin, listening to Celine Dion on your 1455 watt 21 speaker Burmester high-end surround sound system, cruising on the motorway at 70 miles an hour in complete comfort, knowing that if anyone in your rear view mirror is causing you the slightest bit of inconvenience, you can annihilate them at will. It's not every day that I find myself on private land where I am able to propel a 2.3 ton vehicle to 62 miles an hour quicker than I can say Porsche Panamera Turbo S E Hybrid. Sports Plus, let us send. And brake. Oh. 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 The adrenaline, the excitement that gives you just runs and courses through your veins. It just runs through all your organs. I feel alive. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And that's not its only party trick. There is, of course, we mustn't forget, its infinitely cool deployable split spoiler. If you've made it to this point in the video and you haven't already done so, please don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment. We are perilously close to 20,000 subscribers, depending on when you're watching this. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and give us a follow over on Instagram too. Thank you. Let's call a spade, right? 782 horsepower, 1,000 Newton meters of torque. We're well in supercar territory, make no mistake about it. This day and age, it's very easy to get desensitized to the fact that cars are able to do 0 to 60 in second and a half, 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds, whatever it may be. With the rise of electric cars, obviously, that's changed the landscape. But 0 to 62 mile an hour in 2.9 seconds is an unbelievable feat of engineering. Its acceleration, its linear power, the way it snaps through the gears, the way it just pulls you forward, it is ferocious. The way it gallops forwards, it's theatre, it's dramatic, it's an experience. So what is the driving experience of a car that costs best part of £200,000, can hold a candle to some serious supercars, as well as do the luxury, the comfortable stuff equally as well? Often when we drive cars, we look for a car that has a visceral driving experience. That is what we deem to be fun and engaging. We want a car that abides to our every input. A manual gearbox, rear wheel drive, and non-invasive driving aids. That is what puts a smile on our faces. But this puts a smile on your face for different reasons. It's small windows of wow, oh my God, Jesus, how is it doing that? How is it able to corner so flat? How is it able to accelerate in the way it does? How is it able to come to a complete standstill from such high speeds? The things of that nature. The Panamera, it likes corners, but what it really loves is long sweeping bends, because just then you start to feel its party trick with its clever suspension. You take a sweeping bend and suddenly you find yourself taking bends at speeds that every fibre of your existence is telling you you shouldn't be able to, at which point you really start to appreciate just how good the engineering has been for this car. To complement its power, to complement the handling as well as the braking power of the Panamera, we of course have to mention its steering. Shouldn't come as much of a surprise. The steering wheel is perfectly weighted, the size is excellent, and there's enough feel for you to be engaged with the drive, but there's an air of luxury sprinkled onto it as well, so its talents transcend onto the motorway. Even if I wanted to, I couldn't fault the Panamera and its overall ability and its overall competence in anything that you show it. But here is where the Panamera is at its peak of its powers, and it's such a shame that our motorways haven't caught up. I've driven in various different places around Europe, and we have the worst discipline, the worst knowledge when it comes to driving on the motorway. But on the motorway, it eats the miles up for breakfast, the steering really settles in, the car just honkers down, and it's like, right, where are we going? And how quickly do you want to get there? if I were to pick any faults with the Panamera, they'd come in the shape of storage. The storage, i.e. the glove compartment, not a massive amount of space, and that pretty much is the same story under the armrest just here. A little bit of storage maybe for your phone, your charge cable, and the door bins aren't very generous either, albeit there is a massive Burmester speaker getting in the way, which I'll forgive it for, but I'll get to more on that a little bit later. This area of the interior for me doesn't feel special enough, and I mention it in virtually every video that I do, this gloss black piano stuff. It's a cesspit for dust, fingerprints and light scratches, and this mechanism, for instance, it just, for me, doesn't feel special enough. The Isofix anchors on the rear seats aren't very easy to get to. It's an odd bit of design as well. In the case of the Panamera, where you want to adjust the airflow, for instance, if you feel like it's blowing in your face too much, I have to either go through the screen, so I have to hit the home button, go into climate, and then adjust the air vents away from my face, or I can hit climate menu here and then do the same thing. How is that safe? But I can't touch my phone. I don't feel like that's progress. I feel like as well as it works, don't get me wrong, it works, it's cool, it's a cool bit of tech, but surely it's less distracting to just have knobs here where I can twist and turn on and off, move it to my face or move it away from my face. Some of the optional equipment included on this particular press car include the Sports design package, which adds some aesthetic upgrades to the car: the panoramic glass sunroof, a sports exhaust, the 4-zone climate control, the Porsche crests on the headrests, and ventilated seats, as well as my personal favourite, the Burmester 3D high-end surround sound system. And for me, I'm yet to hear a better sound system in a car, and I am willing to go deaf on that particular hill. When it comes to the real world application of the hybrid element of the Panamera, the idea is that you come home from work, you plug it into your AC charger, and by the following morning you have a fully charged battery. Whilst a usable capacity of 21.8 kilowatt hour battery is generous, putting a DC charger on the car probably would have been a bit of overkill. So the benefit is you wake up each morning with 40 miles of electric range, and it's really down to you to choose how you wish to spend those 40 miles. They could be on electric alone, or you can do as I've been doing and just leave the car on hybrid auto and let it do its thing. And by doing so, I was able to achieve almost 74 miles to the gallon on my way back from Porsche HQ, stretching over 68 miles. Let's not pretend that I'm saying that every single car on the UK road should be a V8 powered Porsche, or a flat 6 for that matter, although wouldn't be the most terrible thing. But taking off my car enthusiast hat off for a moment, the car's rivals from afar include the S63 hybrid or the Bentley Flying Spur. But if we widen the scope of what's available at £200,000, then we can start including cars such as the Bentley Bentayga, Range Rover SV, or something a lot closer to home, the Cayenne. Also available with this fabulous hybrid enhanced V8 powertrain. Damn near as potent performance, at least in the real world, higher driving position, and more boot space.
Which leads me on to just exactly what is wrong with us as opposed to the car in question. Bar the inconvenience of not having £195,000 to spend on a car is one thing. However, the real issue is that there has been a downturn in the luxury sedan market globally. Saloons in my eyes are somewhat of a dying breed. The introduction of the Taycan and the endless variants of EVs that have come to market, coupled with the fact that we have a slight obsession for all things SUV in the UK, have all played a part in the lower numbers.
For me, if I'm in the UK, it's got to be the Cayenne. However, if I'm in Europe and it's all about cross-continent driving and a little bit more luxury feel, it's got to be the Panamera. Which I guess kind of makes sense because the name is about luxury, endurance, speed and reliability. Attributes you can easily associate with this car. One of the defining characteristics of luxury has to be choice, and Porsche offer two of the best all-rounders that money can buy, not just on paper but in the real world too. And all you have to do is choose your ride height.